Hey, welcome back. So, I said last time, I the video, the last day in New Jersey, that I was going to record another video when I moved, and I moved. Today's Monday. I just had my first day of work, and it went pretty well. I'm still wearing my shirt. Let's see. I don't know what there is to say about the move. It went well. Like, I said goodbye to my parents, and that was sad. And now I'm here by myself. But yeah, this is technically like my first day here. I guess yesterday was too, but I was still kind of moving. I unpacked most of my stuff yesterday. So today I had to start work at 7 a.m. But I woke up at 6, which isn't that early. Because I just did. So this is the thing. If I start talking about this, I'm going to talk about the whole time because it was so good. A lot of the stuff we did today was just like briefing on. It reminded me of the first day of school. They just like a lot of PowerPoints and like, okay, this is this and this is this. It's like a lot of information that you're probably not going to remember, but they just have to tell you because they can be like, well, we told you. But there was one presentation on the telework. I've never worked from home. I've never done school from home. So I never really thought of it as something that I could do. It's all just like, well, when you go to school, you go to school. When you go to work, you go to work. But this new job is all telework. He said until next March, they're not even going to reassess it. Like every day you're going to work from home. And I don't know. Maybe I'll hate it, but I don't. I'm excited to work from home. I've never been excited before to work. And I was feeling like when he was talking to me about it, like, okay, you're going to work from home and it's going to be good and we're going to help you do your job and be good and productive. I'm like, oh, I just got this feeling like, oh, I feel like I'm going to work better in my space where I'm comfortable. I'm going to be more productive. I'm going to be able to do the work better. He actually said, the telework guy was like, when we first started doing the telework during the pandemic, we were worried productivity would go down because people would be at home and they'd be like sleeping or eating all the time. But what they saw is the productivity went up over 20%. Like their goal was to keep it even or whatever, and it went over 20%. People were more productive when they were at home. He didn't say exactly why, but I'm just thinking like, well, maybe everybody does have a level of social anxiety, but also like social distractions when you're at work. Well, first of all, you have to drive there, and that's stressful. Nobody really likes commuting. Then when you get at work, you've already worked for like a half an hour just to get to work, and then so you're kind of tired, and you're like, oh, I was just driving, and this person cut me off. And so then when you get to work, you don't really want to work right away because you're just like, oh, I was going to get my coffee and I got to go to the bathroom. And then when you get there, you talk to people like, oh, how's your weekend? Because you don't want to start working yet. Then you get to your desk and you got to log on and you got to... Maybe other people like this, but it's hard to describe because when I was at my old job, I went in every day, but I didn't like it, but I had gotten used to just the everydayness of it. And I know it might be bad, like maybe working from home every day will create bad habits, like I won't be seeing people and it'll make my anxiety worse, maybe, probably. But another part of me thought, well, maybe now I'll actually want to go out to see people, because before, even when I was in school and when I was at work, I was around people all day, like the 8 hours when you're at school or and at work. So by the time that was over, I just wanted to go home and I didn't want to be around people. So now I'm thinking like, well, if I'm at home all day for work, then later I might want to actually be around people. This could be really good for me, and these are all these things that are making me feel good. Maybe it might all be terrible, but like, does that kind of make sense? Like, it sounds stupid to say like you have a person tank and it gets filled up when you're at work for 8 hours and you're just like, I just want to go home and watch TV. But if I'm at home all day working, then maybe at night I'll be like, and we finish work at like 4 o'clock, I'll be like, well, I'll go out and I'll go to a grocery store, or I'll go play basketball or something, because I want to be around people because I've been inside all day. Maybe not. But I'll talk to the therapist about that. And we'll see what happens. If I don't go to work, I'm going to stay at home all day. So I've never been in a situation where I was just going to be at home for like more than a couple days. I've always had a reason to go out. So it could be bad. I mean, it could just... But I'm going to get up every day like I always do, and I'll put on my dress shirt. I got my work area here. I don't have like TV in here. Maybe I'll put on the radio or something, but the people above me aren't too loud. I think it's going to be good. And for some reason before... I didn't know that I was going to be teleworking every day. I thought I would still have to go in. And this thing we did today, this orientation, I can just imagine having, like before the pandemic, what we would have done is, well, we would go in to work and they would do a presentation and they'd hand out the PowerPoints like the first day of school. And that would be such a terrible day. I'd be so, I want to get through it. But today I was at home, I was listening, and it felt good. Like I had a drink, and if I had to go to the bathroom, I could just leave. I didn't have to worry about, oh, I gotta like be embarrassed that I'm leaving, even though it's fine. Like, oh, but I'd have to go to the bathroom. And then the worst thing would be, we had like 3 or 4 breaks. Those are my nightmares, because so you would do 1 or 2 briefings and then you'd be like, all right, let's take a 15-minute break, talk to each other, go outside, walk around. That's my nightmare, because I don't know what to do, and I don't want to. You gotta talk to people and be like, hey, sometimes it's good, I know, because you're like meeting people, but I did the same thing in college, and I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to be forced, but I'm not really going to work with those people anyway. But when I was here, I took a break. I went in the kitchen and I got a cookie, and like I was unpacking a little bit, and it was just nice. I guess I just do like being by myself. I'm 28 years old. I should know by now what I like. And I don't like being around people most of the time. I don't know, humans are like social beings, but maybe we're not supposed to be this social. I don't know. Are we really supposed to be seeing each other all the time? Maybe just once in a while, a couple hours a day. But not like this forced interaction where, okay... Because this briefing thing, why would I have to come into work to see this stupid PowerPoint? Just show me on the computer. And we were on the phone, on a conference call. If I have a question, I unmute it, and I'm like, okay, like, what do you mean by that? And then I mute it, he says it. It worked perfect. And you didn't need the extra anxiety of like, oh, there's people next to me, and like, how I look, and I gotta go to the bathroom, and... It's perfect. Life is good. Telework. Freaking telework. I knew it. When this pandemic started and I still had to go into work every day, I was like, oh, it's kind of a bummer, but well, maybe being at home every day would be bad and blah, 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 blah. But no, I mean, obviously, it's so much better. It's the best. And so the guy said in March of 2022, God, they're going to reevaluate and be like, okay, maybe people can start coming in now. But he said even then, most people are going to at least telework a couple days a week. And I'm like, that's my freaking dream. I don't know. I haven't even gotten training for the new job yet, but I just have like a good feeling about it. I do. So if you're like me, I knew I was going to talk about that for too long, but like, try to find a job where they telework, because I don't know. It seems like a really good thing for me. A lot of the problem I would have before is like I would go to work for all this time, and then when I come home, I just don't want to do anything. And so the therapist is trying to get me to do all this extra stuff, but I'm like, I'm just so tired, I don't know. But now, like, I could do something. I could even exercise, or I could go see people. This lady, when I was moving in, this lady who lives next door came over and was like, oh, you moving in, talk to me. It didn't go well. But she was like, oh, you want to come to church on Sunday with us, or with me? And I was like, oh, I can't go this week, but maybe I'll tell you if I can go next week, is because I'm busy and I just moved in and everything, and I gotta work on Monday. And then I was the whole day I was in the back of my head feeling a little bit anxious about like, oh, I gotta go and I gotta talk to this lady next week and I gotta do all this stuff and I gotta go to this stupid church. But now I'm feeling fine about it, because I'm like, well, that'll be the first time I'm around people the whole week. So by then I'll probably want to go out and go to church with her. I don't know. It'll probably be fun. I don't know. Yeah, just every I guess that's the main thing I'm going to talk about, that I'm just realizing, is that I guess it is that introvert extrovert thing of just when an introvert is around people all the time, they have to leave. They can't do it anymore, and they get stressed and nervous and they don't feel good when they're around people for too long. So when I'm going to work 8 hours every day, maybe it was just too much for me. I don't know. It's only been one day, so who knows? But I feel good today, and I just had a good feeling about the rest of my life. I don't know. If I could just telework. We did, I should probably mention this because I mentioned it last time about the questions. And even those questions, like, I did a good job. We did this thing, like, get to know you. Everybody, 15 people, go around and say something about yourself. So they had 5 questions, and one question was like, oh, what brought you to this career? And what's your favorite hobby? And where do you like to go on vacation? I remember doing those things when I was in school and hating it. I think a big aspect of it was just being in a space with a bunch of people looking at you, and I just like, why is everybody looking at me? Nobody cares about my stupid favorite ice cream flavor. What do I like to do? I don't know. I just watch TV. But when I was on the phone, obviously I couldn't really. We weren't doing a video thing. We were just doing a conference call, and so I just answered the questions, and I didn't care. I was just like, yeah, I went to Rutgers and worked at a small company, and I wanted to change. I came here. I like watching TV. My brother lives in California, so that's where I go on vacation. Blah, blah, blah. Done. And it was fine. I wasn't nervous at all. Well, I was a little bit. Like, I wasn't not nervous, but it was nothing. It was fine. So I feel like if I have to do meetings with people, like my supervisor or whatever, I think it's going to be fine. Because there might be some anxiety at the start, but at least there won't be that drained feeling of like, oh, people all the time, people talking, people, oh. And when you're at the office, there's always this thing in the back of your head, like, well, somebody could walk in and start talking to me, and sometimes people do. And I'm like, okay, I gotta talk to you, and oh, how's your weekend? You don't have to do that anymore. And whenever you go into work, like, I have to go into work once this week to get my laptop and stuff, but like, there's a process, like, okay, this is why I'm going into work, and this is what I need to do, and this is who I need to talk to. It's not just like, blah, just like come in every day and just sit here, and if you don't have any work, you still gotta sit here. That was another thing when I started my other job, is like I didn't always have a lot of work, so I was just kind of sitting around thinking of something to do and being nervous about, like, are they gonna notice that I'm not working on anything? Sometimes I would ask them for work, and that would be good, but that was a quick 20 minutes. So yeah, I feel good. This is as good as I've felt in a while. Just about the prospect of just being comfortable with my life, like I mentioned last time, a couple days ago, when I was moving out, like just trying to get more comfortable. This is something that could really be good for me. And I feel like it's time to get into the era of this channel where I'm happy and comfortable, because sometimes I feel like, oh, nobody wants to hear about that. Like, you want to be relatable, so talk about your anxiety and talk about when you're nervous and when you're sad. And I could still do that because I'm going to be sad eventually sometime. But we have to get into the era of good feelings, positivity. And it's good. I hope that's this era. It's only been a day, but I hope that that's what you can see, kind of a change into me being more happy and positive, because I found what I need to do to be comfortable. So, I think that's gotta be it. I gotta stop. Thanks. If you wanna talk about anything, you can comment. I didn't get too many views on the last one, but I think I got like 5 likes, which is nice. So thanks for liking those and being happy and just liking that I'm being nice about me talking and putting myself out there and not rejecting it. I appreciate the niceness, and I hope you're doing well too. I know not everybody's feeling great all the time, and if you watch the past 2 years of my videos, you can see a lot of that, so I get it, but today was a good day. And I need to say that to make it kind of real for me and be like, don't let it go. Sit in it for a minute. Like, it was a good day, and you should be happy about that. Yeah, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.